the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is AVWeek, episode 187, recorded Friday, March 20th, 2015. Oh, the Rocky Horror.
Ready.
AVWeek.
Performing. Scan.
Week.
Online.
This is AVWeek.
This is AVWeek, your weekly wrap-up of audiovisual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. With us this week is Mr. Bradford Ben from Harman International. How are you, sir? Very nice.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the warm welcome. I'm doing well. As you can see, I'm a little casual since I haven't had to travel for a couple weeks, so I'm slacking off a little bit, going for the riff-raff look of, a little spiky hair, a little bit of peach fuzz a la Mr. Albright. So
that's way more peach fuzz. For those of you who are listening to this, that's way more peach fuzz. He's got a very nice 5 o'clock shadow going, and then some.
And by 5 o'clock shadow, he means 5-day shadow for me.
Yeah, that's very nice, very nice.
And for those of you who are listening, the peach fuzz was a reference to an old episode where Tim commented on his ability to grow facial hair.
The inability to grow facial hair.
So we actually titled the episode Peach Fuzz. So go look through the archives if you haven't seen it. And of course, great format as always.
And I think that was the episode that Bradford learned that you could do sound effects in Google Hangouts. So also with us is Christopher Netto from AV Help Desk. How are you, sir?
That's what we get.
Leave it to the audio guy. All right. Good Lord.
Well, I could have done this.
You could have, yes. All right, let's kick this shindig off. Samsung is acquiring Yesco, Y-E-S-C-O, Electronics. They are a display manufacturer, digital signage manufacturer. Mr. Bradford Ben, let's start with you on this. What's the thinking behind Samsung getting deeper, I guess, into the world of digital signage?
I think it's not a surprising move. I think it's a good move. I was a little surprised that they actually had to buy someone, mainly because of the fact that they already have a pretty good toehold in the digital signage market. When you look at digital signage in general, it's for most of the displays I've seen at airports, which is where I do most of my reconnoitering because, well, I'm always stuck in an airport where it's 77 dBA SPL of background noise.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. I look at those, I look at them because obviously I know Harman has some products, IED has some products, QSC has some products, so I'm always looking at what's going on to see what's in there, and a lot of them are using Samsung and LG, so I was a little surprised to see this, but I think that this is more of trying to bring in the whole system so that Samsung is not just the hardware provider, but also is able to provide some of the services and own the process end to end, which I think is a good move on Samsung's part because it sounds funny. The TV starts to become a commodity. Sorry, not TV, display. Shows you how old I am. Starts to become a commodity in a lot of these things of, well, Samsung versus LG versus Sharp versus anything else when you're using it for signage. You need to have if I use Samsung TVs, I use the Yesco software as a service, it becomes a better example of look, you can buy our displays, and if you spend $1 million worth of displays, you can use our software as well. And look, now you have the eye candy and all this, and you don't have to create your own information as well.
All right, Mr. Netto there. Let me ask you this. According to the story, and by the way, I forgot to say this, it's in Sound and Communications magazine, the quote from the senior vice president from Samsung, it says, "As the market for LED display technology continues to grow, we understand the critical importance of having the right experience to be successful in this area. By combining the extensive experience of Yesco Electronics and LED displays with our global network, business experience, and world-class R&D team, we further validate our leading position and the value we bring to our customers as a total solutions provider in digital display. Is it me, or does that sound like more like they're trying to hire a load of people from Yesco?
It does sound that way. I don't know how many of the Samsung monitors you've purchased recently for your own for your customers and stuff like that, Tim. But I know that we use quite a lot of Samsungs, and the monitors that are coming now and that we're installing in these conference rooms are digital signage monitors. They're basically they're prepared for digital signage. They have their own little setup already in there. I think the Yesco grouping is just another enhancement to that service. I think they're hitting digital signage very hard, just like every other company is right now. With these TVs that are ready to go out of the off the shelf. So is it a bad idea? No, I think it's a great idea, especially for the 1 and 2 type operation where they don't, for the companies that don't need 50, 60 boards, they're just looking for something small in the SMB space, maybe.
And I will say that to Chris's point, the fact that you can do the embedded Windows PC in the display all of a sudden makes it so that for these small businesses, you don't need a signage solution. You buy the Samsung TV and put PowerPoint Viewer on it, and you call it done, which is always a challenge that us as integrators and manufacturers have to fight up against, especially as providers of what can we do that's better. And I see that as part of the move also, is the Samsung wants to have that wide breadth to the person who's going to put up one display, all the way up to the people that are going to do the whole network system together.
It's also addressing a hole that digital signage created in the past, and that companies are trying to basically take care of now. They want to do these prepackaged templates inside to make it easy. The biggest challenge with digital signage is, for the AV guy, it's always been, I'm going to go in, I'm going to put a mount, I'm going to put the screen in, I'll attach the player, peace out.
Yeah, and it sounds funny, but some of the big things are, because we just put what's the word I'm looking for? We just put a new display in our lobby when we did a lobby renovation in the Elkhart office. And, like you said, put in the player, make it easy, make it fast, make it done. And it was that little stuff of, okay, I have to put a player in, whereas if you've gone with the Samsung with the integral manager, poof, it's done. Whereas instead we had to put up an AMX player that, yes, for us it cost a whole lot less, go figure, but put up the player and get it configured made life, just one of these things that made the process a little longer. And I do think that Samsung has a unique ability with some of those features it's getting.
I was going to say, you better be putting in an AMX media player, because...
We're putting the inspired signage SX1100 if you really want to...
Very nice. No, the reason I said that is I actually had the opportunity to go down to AMX this week, and they were very nice. But they were pointing out where they were switching out to JBL speakers everywhere. So
I had nothing to do with that.
I know you didn't. Had nothing to do with it. You probably installed them.
I still think it's very funny when I show up and they think I'm someone important.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. We were walking back in one of the areas, and I was walking with Sean Robinson, and they're getting ready for Infocom. So I'm not making fun here. It was just it was interesting to me because it was back in a super secret area, and one of the engineers is like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And we, long story short, we were quickly shown the exit door because they were already getting product ready for Infocom. So, all right, from our buddy Craig McCormick at Commercial Integrator Magazine, 5 ways to go green on St. Patrick's Day. He lists a number of different ones. I actually wrote a piece about Green AV a couple months ago with the whole quantum crystals and just different ideas behind going green and what it may mean going forward. In the past, green, quote-unquote, AV has meant power consumption and ways to reduce that, ways to utilize automation to reduce power consumption, meaning occupancy sensors and things of that nature, automated controls, meaning at certain times of the day it shuts down, light harvestings, the things of that nature. And the piece I wrote, I talked about the economic impact of the things that we make. Right, a number of years ago, we went away from lead solder for a reason, because of the economic impact, and honestly, because of the human impact as well. So, Chris, you can go off of what Craig wrote, or maybe you have your own ideas. But this week of St. Patrick's Day, which is the whole idea behind the article, what's one or two of your favorite green AV products?
Watching TV and drinking green beer at the bar.
Okay.
That was very green of me.
Yeah.
Not green tea?
Not green tea. I actually had a green beer this year for the first time. When you start talking about that with the green AV, yes, there is so many different components to green AV. There's a manufacturing process that could be green. There are products that could be green. On the residential side, there is obviously, when we go home, the green products that affect us there, the solar and stuff like that. One of the things that that's always been kind of interesting is, of all the smart home stuff, inherently these products like the Nest and stuff like that are supposed to save you energy by becoming learning. So obviously they're green by design. But how do you incorporate that into solar harvesting? Like, how do you do, I want to see the bigger picture of the smart home as from the home perspective. How is that going to become more green? Are we now using control systems in the house that are completely cutting off power, at times of the day, just so it's not running through your system?
Yeah.
The entire house. That is like the pie in the sky. When I'm sitting home reading through, all these things about green AV. I mean, I understand when it comes to the manufacturing side of the business and the commercial and the pro world, there are concerns about, lead and how we're processing this stuff in the waste. But there's that home side of it that intrigues me, and I'm hoping that I get to learn about that from at least my resi side of the resi side of the business.
Right. Mr. Bradford, Ben, what are one or two of your favorite green products? And you can bring in your favorite control system if you'd like, or something else.
Well, actually, since I'm going to try not to talk just about our products, because I know there's all sorts of solutions for this. If you look at some of the Harman products, and then I'll move to some of the other brands, you have the fact that we have Green Edge for more efficient amplifiers, so that and the fact that they're lighter makes them easier to ship, and we use recycled cardboard and all that stuff. But there are other things such as using RMS, which is an AMX product, to look at how much you're using the rooms and turning off the systems and seeing if you actually need them. But there's basic stuff that I think we can all think about to make stuff more green. I'll go back to the lobby I just talked about. Simply turning off the displays at the end of the day, when the lobby closes at 5 and reopens at 8 o'clock the next morning, becomes a huge savings. But people often forget about some of that simpler stuff, and using a control system to automate when the building's closed, not having it on, using an auto standby feature and an amplifier so it automatically turns off the high voltage rails and becomes greener. The fact that we've actually started putting less documentation into the manuals and saying, if you want the full manual, go online. And same thing with catalogs. Those are little things that people go, you guys are changing this and that, and why are you doing this? And it's more of if we don't have to ship a piece of paper that's obsolete as soon as we send it out, making the website be better, it's a huge thing. Like, for instance, we went away from printed service manuals, and I'm sure other manufacturers have as well. You go to an online software, you can update it, give the latest notes. We've gone away from printed manuals and instructions on the line to going to displays at each workstation so that we can give work instructions when you're building an amplifier. But there are other things I think we all have to look at as well that becomes a little bit more of a challenge, such as if you have a control system, or if you have a remote-controlled DVR or remote-controlled AVR, or all these things that are in standby mode, are you remembering to turn them off when you're away from the house for 2 weeks on vacation, or say going to ISE? And those are things I think are beyond what us as manufacturers, but us as integrators and advocates can talk with people about, such as people my wife was like, why'd you unplug the toothbrush when you left? Because I have a rechargeable electric toothbrush. Well, I wasn't going to be home for 2 weeks. Why should it sit there just sucking power? So I think there's great things to be done for green AV, and I think we just have to think about them, such as my personal favorite is I go into every TV I see in our conference rooms, displays, and I turn on the auto turn off after 3 hours of non-use, because how often do you walk by and it's just sitting there on because no one thinks to turn it off?
Yeah.
So I think that we have lots of opportunities for it. I think the occupancy sensor from the various manufacturers are great. I think Nest is a good thing. I think it's just a matter of thinking about it, but also not artificially patting ourselves on the back for it. And I'm not trying to sound like a naysayer, but okay, so Nest saves a whole bunch of energy. Agree with that. But how much energy are all these other saving things taking, because now they're on all the time and automatically turn off and turn back on, whereas instead of having a true contactor that turns it off altogether. It sounds funny, but you have to leave a fire alarm system on all the time or a voice evac system on all the time. It becomes a little less green, but then choosing the amplifier to make it more green becomes a more compelling story. And this is where stuff starts to go from building cost to operational cost. And I realize I'm kind of meandering here a little bit. Maybe it's the 6 cups of coffee, but I think that's something that a lot of people aren't thinking about, because you can have a green amplifier that goes into standby, but if you have to leave it on all the time and monitored to be a voice evac system, well, you now have to look at how efficient is it when it's on.
Well,
So you have to look at a
some
lot
of
of
that
these things.
doesn't some of that though go into system design, where if it's an evac system, and I'm nowhere near the audio guy that Bradford is. Couldn't you do a smaller, simpler amplifier for that system and have like a separate system and have like maybe your main audio system for an auditorium or what have you be your bigger, beefier amplifiers?
Yes, you can, but now you're installing 2 audio systems, and it adds cost.
All right.
And then you look at a stadium situation or a convention center or arena, where those little fire horns, strobes and klaxons, aren't going to fill a 16,000 seat seating bowl. So you're going to want to use the full PA system. But now, because you're using it as part of the EVAC system, you have to design in, that those amplifiers are on and monitored 24/7. And depends on the authority having jurisdiction and what codes you're following and all that. I'm not saying they always have to be on and monitored, but do you have to run a housekeeping pilot tone through them that's going to be going all the time, that's using power? And those are design decisions. But then, like for back of house stuff, where you have the classrooms in a school or the lounges in these arenas, yeah, you can do the separate fire alarm system with the klaxon and the strobes.
Right.
So like you said, it's a design issue, but it's something to think about. And it's not impossible to do if you look at something like City Center in Las Vegas, where they're able to get the LEED certification because of these design thoughts going all the way through, of little things like there's no fluorescent lights in the rec room. It's LED lighting.
Nice. And LED
And it's
is
actually
cool.
much soothier.
Exactly. Freaking fluorescents are harsh. All right, so from the great White North, our buddy Josh Stockhouse has graced us with his presence once again. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Actually, Josh changes jobs more than I do. So his current iteration is as senior technology consultant for the Audio Video Pros. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, so let's actually, luck would have it, Mr. Netto asked for a residential green AV point of view, so why don't you throw us one?
Well, I kind of joined you guys right in the middle of the question, so would you mind just refreshing me real quick?
So basically, it's what's
how I'm right.
what's one or two of your favorite green AV pieces of gear or technologies?
Well, right now, I'm actually kind of really intrigued by the Panamax Blue Bolt pieces that they have that are very affordable, and they're little 2 outlet doodads. I think it's the ZB D1 or something like that. I can't remember the model number, but you basically put it in the wall in between your outlet and your power strip or whatever other kind of power conditioner you have, and then you have controllable power to be able to take the entire power supply and turn it off on a schedule. So you're eliminating phantom power, and I love the fact that it's as simple as just plugging something in between your existing power management and the wall.
And I think that's a good point, Joshua. And I know Mid-Atlantic, one of the sponsors, has some cool products like that, as does us. I think sometimes overlooking those simple things can be a big deal.
Yeah, and the thing is for me is that I think I had this conversation once before when I was on the show with Todd Puma from the Source Home Theater. And when you reduce truck rolls, or when you reduce having to send a technician out to someone with the same piece of technology, because you're just basically logging in via the internet and you're resetting the router, you're resetting the switch, you're resetting the gear in the rack that's messing up, and you're saving time, you're saving the customer's money, you're saving your money, and you're being environmentally friendly, all with the same piece of gear. So it benefits the entire chain of business for the integrator to make sure something like that is inside of every installation.
So you're basically telling me you can automate the process of turning it on and off again?
Yeah, you can remotely log in with the piece. That's the whole thing about Blue Bolt. That's IP controllable down to the individual outlet. So.
No, I was making an IT crowd joke. Sorry, yeah. It went over one's head. And you can.
Yes, yeah. The hair is kind of similar. I see it there. I see the resemblance.
It's just ones and zeros, Bradford. So.
When I see a 2, I get scared.
as you should, actually, in the world of IT. So, all right. So let's hit a couple of other things before we let you guys go. This one kind of caught me about, kind of out of left field. It's from Pro Audio Central. Peerless AV is opening a Dubai warehouse. And one of the things that Peerless AV is doing, which is kind of interesting, is they're growing a lot in Europe and the Middle East and that area. Bradford, we'll kick it off with you because you're the manufacturer on the show. And Harman has an interesting, I've learned at least over the last couple months in talking with you guys at ISE, you guys have interesting strategies for getting your stuff all over the world. Doing something like this, can you walk me through what having a warehouse and a distribution in a country like Dubai means for you guys?
Sure. And actually, the Jebel Ali free zone that they're talking about in Dubai is a World Free Trade Zone. Try saying that one after 6 cups of coffee.
Well, and explain that one too.
So what that means from a customs point of view, and I might not be 100% accurate, but it was explained to me this way, is that to some degree it's not in any country. So you don't have to clear customs to get it into the warehouse. You don't have to clear customs to get it out of the warehouse. You have to clear customs when it enters a country. So we can ship stuff there. It sits there, and until it gets shipped to another location, it's quote-unquote in transit on the water. It's not there. So you don't have to bring it to Dubai to bring it to Saudi Arabia. You only have to clear it once. So having it in a free trade zone helps a lot with this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm hoping I understand it correctly. This is one of those things where it's been explained to me. I might have it wrong. I have to put all those disclaimers on it. But that's why when I was thought it was a good move when they said it was a free trade zone more than just in Dubai. So that helps quite a bit with the logistics of you don't have to clear customs, which could take 3 weeks getting in, and then clear customs getting out. It's sitting there. It's in a bonded and insured warehouse until you ship it out to another place. It doesn't have to clear customs. So if you want to bring it into Dubai, you still have to clear customs.
Clear customs, yeah. So when whoever explained it to you, did they also explain the whole taxes and tariffs thing, getting it into that free zone? Are you exempt from those charges then at that point while it remains in there?
So, because if not, you would have to double pay taxes, which would make it kind of
expensive.
But I'm not an expert. I know the people to ask.
Okay. All right. Well,
but I'm not an expert, but my understanding is because we have free trade zones like, in Long Beach where the ships come on board with the containers when you unload them before they go other places. That way you can unload them, take your stuff off, and send stuff back.
Is that the one that's been backed up for like 6 months?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's not cool. It's not cool at all, Bradford.
I'm joking a lot because we have a lot of stuff sitting on the seas, and that's more because of longshoremen and not political unrest.
Union unrest, really.
Unrest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, I think it's a great move for Peerless. It's one of the things that we're doing as well with different locations of put the product near the people who are going to buy it.
Yeah.
If it's just like having stocking distributors here in the States. If you're going to buy something, do you want it to take 3 weeks to come from the United States to get to pick a country, Kuwait? Well, maybe not. If you have it in the warehouse, the free trade zone in UAE, United Arab Emirates, in it comes much faster, much quicker. So it's a good move. It's one of the reasons we have warehouses in China, in Denmark, and in other places so that we can ship stuff quickly to the people. For the consumers, it also helps a whole bunch because it lowers our cost to them of if we have to ship one amplifier versus a container full of amplifiers, which one do you think costs us less per amplifier and it'll be pre-staged in the area? So it's a good thing, I think, all around. I think it's a good business move. I think you're going to see more and more people doing this.
All right. Mr. Netto there, you and I both got to go to ISE. We talked with a number of these people. What do you think is the thinking behind getting, like Bradford said, the product closer to the people?
Well, we can talk about our experiences in taking gear as opposed to renting gear.
Yes, indeed.
And the cost of taking 2 cameras and a tripod as opposed to renting locally.
Two tripods,
2 cameras, an exorbitant amount of money. So we learned to quickly source in-house or source in-country.
And just so it's been said, it was $2,000 one way. So double that up.
Was that shipping or checking?
That was shipping.
Okay. And I can believe that money.
So one way. What goes got to come back.
Yep.
We would have not been. I think that would have pretty much cut our budget from staying in an apartment to staying in a cardboard box on the side of the road.
That would have been the shipping container the stuff came in.
Exactly. Well, it was fine. Yeah, it was
ourselves
part and parcel.
It is. It makes sense for Peerless to do this. I mean, I was just talking about this the other day. As a matter of fact, yesterday, with somebody who is in the projection screen business. One of the things that we talked about at ISE was, we found projection screen manufacturers out there that don't ship or sell product in the United States.
Nope.
Okay? We came to find out that it's taxes, tariffs, stuff like that. In the same token, the reason why they're not selling here and doing well where they are is the companies that don't have the distribution locally. So think about a company like Daylight or Stewart. If they don't have an in-house shipping or warehouse in Dubai, a local company is going to have a lot of advantages. We can come in, we can install a product at a half the cost, if not a third of the cost, because you're shipping, say they're 12-foot screens. That's a freaking shipping container ball. You know what I'm saying? That you got to get over there. It makes sense to have the local distribution. The free trade zones are a hot property anywhere you go, and Bradford can attest to that from with stuff with his company and the big corporations. Free trade zones are massive when it comes to these companies shipping in and out. To me, what I find interesting about this whole thing, on top of the fact that I've always known Peerless as being a mount company, but they've actually diversified their business. They're now in the business of digital signage. They're in the business. They've diversified their business to the point where it's not just the mounts anymore. There is technology now being produced by them. And when you look at it, the Middle East is a big area for this technology, digital signage, LED. I mean, Dubai. Dubai is Dubai. I wish I had my buddy Bill on the phone, and he could tell you how much they spent in the Mall of Dubai on digital signage and LED. He says it's a big advertisement for one of the big LED board manufacturers because it's everywhere. We don't see that here in malls. So there is definitely the increased need and the there is a grandness about Dubai, at least what we see. Everything is big, everything is plated in gold and exuberant. To have these big displays and this digital signage, they're making a smart move. And I'm not just talking from it's a jump off point to other parts of the Middle East. I'm just saying right within Dubai, it's a hot property. So it was smart. It makes sense business wise. It makes sense from a to have a presence in that city, in that country, in that area. So
yeah,
can't say anything bad about it.
All right. Let's move on. We are roughly almost 90 days away. Actually, just shy of 90 days. It's going down from InfoComm 2014 in Orlando, Florida, at the Orange County Convention Center.
I think you mean 2015.
2015. What did I say? 2014.
Yeah.
Well,
you were doing the time warp.
I was doing the time warp again. We'll explain that in a second. So 2015 InfoComm Awards from SCN, our friends over at SCN, have released these. This is not necessarily about their awards, although it's, they've got some good ones. Chris, we're going to kick it off with you. I'm going to read off a couple of these categories that Lindsay Adler and the folks over there have put forward, and get your nominee for one or two of them. We just talked about Peerless. Let's do most innovative mounting solution, or most innovative video display. I'm going to take that into both. You can pick either a flat panel or a projection system, and then we'll do audio processing. Or any of the other ones you want. They've also got automation and show control, emerging technologies, and audio switching, audio hardware. AV installation accessory, kind of like brackets and rigging and stuff like that. So, what's a couple that you would nominate off the top?
I get to pick the category?
Yeah, pick a category. Yeah.
All right. In the collaboration software, I guess, would that be considered devices? I mean,
or software. I mean, don't knock the soft codecs that are coming on strong.
You're picking the category. Make up your own if you don't like something.
Yeah, make up your own category.
You don't have to say I'll take collaboration software for 500.
How about the best? How about the best networking event there, Mr. Netto?
Okay, so explain to me. Collaboration to me means huddle space. Yeah. Now, is that specifically going to be limited to a VC, or is that like a VC system, or are we talking collaboration in the wireless display collaboration? Because you can't put one in the other.
Sure you can.
So, all right, well, if you're going to tell me about collaboration, wireless collaboration, you've got to include at least the top 5, which are Air Media, Immersive, with their Solstice product.
Yeah.
You've got to put the Christie Brio.
Yeah.
You got to put Barco and their ClickShare, and you got to put the Kramer Collage or the Via. Via. Those would be, the 5 to battle it out in the wireless display, which is, to me, is one of the hottest categories. Everybody is either baking that into their projectors or into mainly their projectors. I'm waiting to see if that's ever going to get baked into an LED display or a panel for that matter. But that's highly contested, highly sought after area that all the companies are getting into. Especially in the huddle space. Imagine if we could take a display, put that software into it. Which, I mean, technically we have that already in the homes with the mirror casts, and Samsung phones do that. But I'm talking about a appliance piece of hardware or an enterprise piece of hardware that would do this, so you don't have anything in the room. That'd be kind of cool. Or just that attached to a TV. Those are my big ones on the collaboration side.
Can I jump in on the collaboration real quick? Can I collaborate with you on that?
Very nice.
One of the things I think we lost Josh, is that some of these collaboration tools also need to be made for distance collaboration, especially with more and more telecommuters coming online or people working in multinational offices, such as, just the fact that we're collaborating right now with Google Hangouts. Mm-hmm. We're in 3 different states, confused, drunken, and tired. Sorry, Jersey, Missouri, and Indiana. Let you assign which one to which.
And Wisconsin, where he went.
But, that whole idea of collaboration and tools that allow you to collaborate beyond, like you said, with the VC systems, with the video conferencing systems, I think that starting to bring that into the software realm, kind of like Google is, and dare I say Microsoft Lync, which I haven't used yet, or some of these other things.
Wait, time out. You mean to tell me you've never used Lync?
I've used it for chat, and that's it so far.
Okay.
But chat's chat. That's kind of like table stakes. It's kind of like, oh, I have an Android phone and I can send email with it. Yeah, what else can you do with it?
Well, sir,
all sorts of things.
You to a collaboration off.
Okay.
You need to go to the Microsoft booth undercover. Maybe you need to go undercover. We go to there at Infocom. You can put on the hat and the glasses and the fake mustache.
Shave.
You could shave so nobody knows it's you.
And
we'll have a collaboration off and figure out what it is that we like about this particular product or not look to like about the product. I mean that was the big thing going into ISE was we're going to see the 84-inch Surface.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to say that I believe it can be done. I forget the one that my friends over at SmugMug are using it. They used to use Google for this because they have people all over the world, literally. I want to say it's Stitch is what the new one they're using for everyone to be online at the same time. But, I've been talking with them. I've been talking with the AMX folks, and I'm like, well, that doesn't quite do what I want it to do, and Crestron doesn't quite have one. But the whole idea of I can sit in my office and write on my whiteboard and have it show up elsewhere easily at my desk without having to put together a conference room, I think is to some degree the holy grail.
Yeah.
Because why would I want to leave my beautiful office here? To Josh's point of rolling a truck and being green, just to go have a meeting when if I can get a good collaboration tool, I can do it all remotely.
Well, I mean, to that point, that's one of the things I like about the Smart Cap. The whole Bluetooth is writing on your whiteboard and it's showing up on your phone. It's going onto your PC. You're right. That's local. Can we take that? And then I don't have enough experience other than playing with it at the shows to know if that is I'm sure if you dial in using like a WebEx, which I don't even know if it exists anymore. I think
I use it every day.
WebEx is.
So if you use a WebEx with Smart, does the Smart Cap have the ability to do that? Because then it's writing on your board, writing on your phone, and broadcasting out on a live meeting. That's interesting, man.
And see, here's the thing, guys. There's a lot of people that are trying to crack this nut. Everybody from Kramer to Vadio to they've all got these different collaboration capture tools. Some people call it annotation, right? It depends on where you're writing and all this. I think the first person to get it is really going to get a home run, and they're going to get a lot of traction. As people are like, holy cow, yes, that's it. Like to Bradford's point, that's kind of the holy grail of jumping from the whiteboard to my computer and to be able to save that for a later date and re-annotate on that and send it out to all of our people.
And, it sounds funny. I'd say that Tim should call up Mr. Androulis at AMX and tell him he needs to get us some Enzo systems to test, But I know there's lots of companies doing that. And Mr. O'Donnell just said, there's the Via Connect Pro Easy that collaborates, and it's under $1,000, which can pay for a plane ticket if it does stuff right.
And that's the new product. Well, that's the new iteration of Kramer's wireless product.
So
and he was just there yesterday, so checking it out.
And truth be told, we could do screen sharing and use this and and learn to draw on a tablet and put it up on the screen or use a touch screen, but I think the goal is to make it as transparent and easy as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So Bradford, since we went from we went into collaboration, what's your one or two nominees for some of SCN's
Not laughing at you. I'm sorry. I'm just.
You're laughing with us.
I'm laughing with you.
Let's see. I think though that the best emerging technology is me. I'm learning more and more about AVB every day and more about Dante and networking thanks to some of the projects I'm working on. I'm also the best AV installation accessory because I can hold a TV display like no one's business.
You merged a couple of years ago. Let me just point that out.
You know, if you look at some of the things like mounting solutions, I do have to say, and this is more for the higher end, larger format, the new rigging systems on the V20 and V25s, JBL systems, the VTXs, is pretty impressive that you can, in the same mounting hardware for the hardware or for the loudspeakers, you can mount them in compression or in suspension without slipping your fingers in the middle, and the cams that they use are a lot easier. But also, you know, it's all kind of obvious. I'm a little biased because I see my products all the time, and that's what I'm most familiar with.
I can add to that, to your mounting discussion, that yeah, and it's not the latest or greatest. I think they were actually showing it last year at InfoComm. But that Chief Video Wall Connexus product that they have, where you lay out, I mean, how much of a pain in the ass has it been to align 6 monitors next to each other? You know, you basically pop these into the square, and it's up and it's straight.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think that just saves time and money. You know, and for a lot of installers on the commercial side, time, as we know, time is money. And if we can get in and get that thing done and make it perfect, that helps a lot. So I'm a fan of that.
You know, the whole equipment rack and AV furniture, it sounds funny for me to say. My favorite thing is still the fact that manufacturers still screen on the rack space numbers. And there are some that don't, some that do. You know, that's a huge time saver. I still think that's a great innovation. In terms of some of the other things like microphones and speakers, you know, I can talk about the fact that we now have Dante-enabled wireless receivers from multiple manufacturers, which I think is a huge thing. But also, I'll bring up some of the IR microphones and transcription systems and conference systems more, because I think that's going back to some of the older school things, but solves problems that we haven't thought about. I know that this week there was an article about doing 2.4 gigahertz for wireless mics. But if you do infrared systems in a conference room, it becomes inherently more secure because it doesn't leave the conference room, and you have a lot less issues with RF interference. And obviously, you know, I know AKG has some products like this. I wouldn't be surprised if Listen Technologies for their hearing assist systems have some IR products. I think those are still some pretty innovative things, and we've started to move them up and on, as well as some of the encryption stuff.
Yeah.
So I think those are pretty cool.
All right. What was it?
For Bradford, and this is now putting on your Harman cap. Can we get some USB microphones that are good?
Yes, we can. I will have to be nice to my AKG brethren. So yes. I can tell you right now, I'm using a Lexicon IO82 as a USB pre into my system.
But that's not what he asked, Bradford.
I know. I'm hyping.
Okay, I know, and I'm honing your hyping. He's asking for a straight up USB mic.
I'm asking for. I'll be more specific. I'm asking for a 3-element omnidirectional USB mic.
Holy cow! You are being specific.
I know we have a headset one. I would have to look at the wired ones a little bit, just because.
Tabletop.
Oh, since we're asking for crazy things, can it be an array?
I'm going to go crazy. But if I'm going to go crazy, it's going to be with this guy.
No, what Chris is asking for actually makes...
We can go crazy with that. Can't go crazy with anybody else.
Yeah, I was going to say, what Chris is asking for makes a whole lot of sense, because if you look at, and this is where I'm going to sound like a Harman shill, and I'm sure other people make this, and I know AMX have touch panels that will do Bluetooth audio and keyboards. Well, why not put USB into it and have your control system be your input for audio as well, and plug USB into it as well? Because some of their touch panels already have screens on them and stuff like that. So I think it makes perfect sense. See where you're going, Chris.
My idea is this, is that we start seeing these BYOD devices in the spaces, all right? I can get the nice monitor, transfer the picture. You know, Vadio proved to Tim and I that they have USB cameras. Your company has USB cameras that are better than a webcam. The only missing link has been, all right, where is that USB audio device for the input? Whether it's you guys, whether it's the competition, I need a 3-element mic that's omnidirectional, or something better than I can go to Best Buy and buy. You know
And
what?
AMX put what the new video camera that Tim was just seeing, that has the shutters for privacy, also has microphone elements in there for that exact reason, and
That's
so
what
it does a concerted effort, and it is something we're talking a whole bunch about. The other thing I can say, and I'm trying to remember who made it, but someone makes a USB to Dante adapter for your laptop, so you can just plug in your laptop and get your USB into that and get that into your audio system. And I think getting laptops into conferencing systems is going to be huge as well.
There you go, Tim.
All right, that works.
So, Tim, we expect you to use that web camera next time and let us know how it works.
Which web camera is this?
The new one you just got yesterday.
I didn't get one yesterday.
Didn't get it.
I didn't get one yesterday. Joe was trying to do it, and I don't know what happened. So
I'll talk to someone.
don't talk to anyone. They were very nice to me. Don't make them regret being nice to me.
Joe, I'm joking. They didn't. I'm joking.
Not stir up the Hamgate.
No, not Hamgate again. All right. As we wrap up here, guys, a couple things of note. First of all, the 4th annual, I believe, and I could be wrong on that. This is either the 3rd or 4th annual Women in AV Mentor Awards. Nominations are open. The annual awards are presented during the NSCA reception right before the Drunk Uncles concert, which happens at Infocom every year. Not associated with Infocom, but it happens at the same time. Typically, it's always around, and the Drunk Uncle concert is to raise money for the NSCA Education Foundation. So if you want to get more information on that, we'll put a link on the website to how you can nominate someone as well for that. So, and a couple years ago, our buddy Kirsten Nelson won it, and so yeah, there's all sorts of people we can nominate for that.
I recommend we nominate AV Dawn.
Okay, we could do that. Yeah,
she's a woman. She meets one of the criteria.
Oh, jeez.
It says so right
You're
there.
You're gonna get people mad at me, Bradford. I mean, I'm gonna get hate mail, and yes,
that means people are listening. Well, no, this is me. I'll turn the hate mail back to me.
Okay. It
says the Mentor Award has to celebrate a woman in the AV industry, which I agree with.
Okay.
But it's not. But I guess my question is. And it says female AV professionals who have distinguished themselves within the industry by guiding, supporting, and promoting the career development of others.
Okay.
Perfectly agree with that. But I guess my question is, can a male be a mentor to a female person and win this award? And it seems like you can't.
Well, it sounds like, yes, you can be a mentor, but no, you can't win this award because
Agreed.
The award is a woman in AV.
Which I fully support.
Okay.
Let's embrace more people coming. But this is what makes Dawn qualified and the rest of us at AVNation
exactly
unqualified.
Yes, none of us are qualified except for Dawn, and Kelly would be qualified as well. Kelly Perkins, who is her cohort on AV Social.
So we're making a full pitch to get some AVNation people nominated.
Yeah, what the heck?
You and the AV people.
Yeah, we need
Let's go
Dawn.
for it.
Dawn is 30 seconds older than Kelly. That's all I'm going to say about that. So
they're both 29. I don't see why.
Yeah, they're both 29. So yeah, we should nominate both of them. All right, guys.
HR incident waiting to happen. Good thing I know Harmon folks are listening.
Before I get in any more trouble, thank you both so much, Mr. Chris Netto. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
We forgot to talk about the most important thing.
It's not the most.
This one.
It is not the most important thing. It's a very fun thing that's a brainchild of Mr. Netto.
You're
here.
right. Supporting women and women in AV is actually something I think is more important.
Yes.
And I'm not being flippant. I think it's an important thing.
And some of the things we've talked about today are a little more serious. This is not those things. This is not serious. Let's understand that. We do not take ourselves seriously when it comes to this next topic at all. All right, Chris, give me the pitch that you gave me the other day when you called me on the phone and said, hey, I have a crazy game show idea.
The crazy game show idea is, as you're seeing, as I'm watching alongside on my second computer, is the AV hashtags handle and game of the week. Basically, I still have to put together a post One of the things that we as a community do very well is we love to talk about our products. So a lot of people are, put out the PR stuff, which is great. I mean, to be honest with you, we will retweet and see what people are publishing. If it's of notice, a lot of our AVNation members will do that. Okay, fine. But there are some conversation. If somebody's having a tough install, the questions will be asked about, hey, listen, how do I need to terminate this cable? You'll get that eventually. But one thing that I've always found kind of lacking is the fun of what we do. And I've been a hashtag gamer now for some time. I've participated on the one that At Midnight does with the Nerdist. Typically create these hashtags, put them out, and a lot of people get involved, and it's fun. What we're now seeing is that AV people are fun, and they're having fun with it. The first hashtag is AV, a movie title, and there has literally been hundreds of them. We're going to, give you a couple of the ones that we liked. Bradford has been participating in it. I know that from the AVNation handle, we've had some participation, and there's some great ones. But it's all
saving the best for last. I'm saving it to reveal live on the show.
You think one thing I'll point out and interrupt for a second here is the fact that Kramer Electronics has actually gotten even more in depth than just the titles. They're putting pictures.
They're putting in pictures.
So they've taken like the Transformers logo and made it into transmitters, right?
Yeah.
They deserve an award or points or whatever, Mr. Netto.
Yeah, and we're giving points. There are points that are awarded to certain things. I mean, today I saw there was points awarded for somebody announcing for using a Denzel movie. I saw that points were given to D-Tools for a Kurt Russell reference. It's all fun. It's all part of the game. Every week it's going to change. This week it's AV and a movie title. I will just give you a preview of some of the stuff that we're working on that I have already. We're going to use hashtag. At some point, they can start thinking about this. We are going to use hashtag things that Brian Williams invented in AV.
Jeez, nice.
The
HDCP
newscaster. I need a little clarification.
We're also going to do a hashtag create your own AV PSA. So in other words, friends don't let friends spec analog device systems.
Friends won't let friends use RCA jacks.
There you go. Even better.
Friends don't let friends call RCA jacks RCA jacks.
Call them.
Friends don't let friends call them red, white, and yellow.
Oh yeah.
How's that?
There you go.
There you go. So we don't use it. We're you know where we're going with this. So there's going to be a changing thing. It's every week. This week, because we got 100 followers, I released it a week early. Let the people, get an idea what this is and how this is going to go. It's taken off, obviously, by storm. I absolutely love it. I know that some people have to mute it already because I warned people early in the week that we were going to spike the AV Tweeps Twitter stream, and we did.
And I got bored at lunch and broke it.
Yes, and what I love is that we're getting participation from everywhere. Where's the benefit to the AV Tweeps? One, it's the communication. And this is something that I'm going to go on AV Social at some point where we're working on that. They want to talk gamification. This is gamification, an example for gamification for Twitter. It's bringing in the people. It's getting people involved. The AV Tweeps is the conversation. It's having fun on a Thursday and Friday, which is what we're going to run it starting next week for 48 hours. So you're not going to get this pollution in the Twitter stream for an entire week. The other benefit,
keep going.
I know you're gonna continue dropping, spiking the Twitter stream. I'm not going to go into the dropping.
All right. So Mr. Bradford, go ahead.
We also have manufacturers that are now swinging it to their side. So you have Load Audio came up with Load of the Rings.
Very nice.
This is where
the Thomas Crown amplifier.
In it.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
What was that, Bradford?
The Thomas Crown amplifier.
There it was, and I did see that go through. That was great. So far, Bradford, I know you want to give you yours. I got a couple here that I have to read, but I have to make sure.
I'm saving mine for the end because I think I'm going to win the internet with this one.
Okay, right now, one of the one of the examples of the stuff that's out there came from the AV Phenom, and it's been Mark Coxon put out the 10 command prompts.
Very nice. Very nice.
I thought that one was pretty good. Where is another one? Kramer came out with HDMI robot.
Okay.
Restaurant liked lowercase CRS TRON, and they liked From Rockley with Love. What else do we have here? Another favorite that I think Bradford put out there was the infinite attenuation of the lambs.
Very nice.
HD Base T Wars, the DM Empire Strikes Back. There has been a lot. Jason and the Toronto Argonauts digital scoreboard.
Okay. All right. Let's get Bradford's last one here, and we'll wrap this whole thing up. Bradford, what is your one that's going to win the internet? You think?
Instead of this is Spinal Tap, this is 25-watt tap. It's a 70-volt tap. Come on, you got to give me that one. It's a Spinal Tap reference.
Had you done something with making it go to 11, I might have given you that, but no.
Okay, this is an 11-watt tap?
No.
I think you should have went with your Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Power. Would have probably
Phantom Power was nice, yes.
Would have definitely got you far.
How about Short Circuit? Oh, that's wrong.
I can't say enough. Right now, as of it's only been active now for 3 days. We have brought in 185 followers, and everybody's participating. Absolutely love it. It's and the other part to this is that once we get all these, we're gonna have to narrow it down. Then we'll probably do a podcast to go over the 3 weeks of AV hashtag. So this one, and then the following 2 weeks after that, we'll get together. We'll do the board. And we will go through. Obviously, AVNation is not allowed to win any prizes per se, but
apparently we're doing an AVNation version. We're doing an AVNation version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, in which I play Frankenfurter. So I do have the legs that look darn good in fishnet stockings.
I can censor that.
All right, no. I'm telling you, dude. There ain't nothing pretty. There's not much pretty about this body, but my legs are something to die for. All right, guys. Let's wrap this sucker up. Chris Netto from AV Help Desk and social media guru extraordinaire. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Chris Net, @ Chris Netto is my Twitter. You can find my company, AV Help Desk, which is my day job. It's at avhelpdesk.com. And you can find me on AVNation, and you can find me now today manning the AV hashtags Twitter handle, but we will be alternating who from AVNation will be running that, but that's pretty much my responsibility to get that together and get that out and into the people's hands. So,
all right. Yay. Mr. Bradford Ben from Harman International, thank you, sir.
My pleasure as always. Hopefully I'm still employed after this episode.
Hopefully you are. Where can people find you?
Let's see. At Bradford Ben is my personal one. At Harman Talk, I believe, or at Harman News is the work one. You want me to list every single website?
No, you guys own too much stuff at this point. So
just, you can also find me, bradford.ben@harman.com.
You probably have an AMX email address at this point, probably.
Yeah. I have one for everything. I am, at Bradford Ben. You can always ping me there or ping me at Harman. I believe I'm the only Bradford there, even though we have like 16,000 employees now. Or, you can find me through Mr. Albright, or like I said, don't follow Tim on Twitter. Follow me at bradfordben.com. Yes, I stole his line.
He's a lot more interesting. So, all right, we've got some stuff coming up, guys. Chris coined the phrase. What was it? Road to Infocom, where we're doing some weird, crazy traveling. If you're in the Denver area next month, come by and see us. I'm going to be talking about control and automation from my day job at Innovad, working with the folks at AVI Systems and our friend Kelly Perkins, and Ashton and Kendra and all the other fine folks there. So that's at the end of next month. And also,
Keep it going.
I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. Mr. Josh Schrager and I are actually going to be going to the TSNA conference also in April at the out in San Jose-ish area. And then if you're in the New York area during May, I'm going to be moderating a panel at Streaming Media East about 4K. So that's going to be cool.
Don't forget, you're going to C2E2 with Mr. O'Donnell.
Yeah, well, that's more of a personal thing. Bradford,
not a personal thing. You guys are on.
Podcasting.
Well, no, Bradford and I. Bradford and I are going to a comic book convention in Chicago at the end of April as well.
Out, folks.
With our buddy Bill O'Donnell. So and the lovely Jennifer Ben. So there was something else I was going to... Oh, we've got a couple really cool guests coming up, guys. We worked our tails off and gotten really lucky. So keep your ears out for that as well. Not that Bradford and Chris aren't special, but these are folks that are outside the industry that kind of do some stuff that we do too. So it's kind of some cool stuff coming down. Go by the website AVNation.tv, AVNation.tv. You can find this program and a host of others. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. This has been AV Week.